Today, we are looking at the massive shifts happening in the entertainment world, starting with what has quickly become the biggest and most dramatic corporate bidding war in recent Hollywood history. Right now, Netflix and Paramount Skydance are locked in a fierce battle for control of Warner Bros. Discovery. Initially, Netflix struck a deal to buy Warner Bros. Discovery's studio and streaming assets for $27.75 a share. But Paramount Skydance just threw a massive wrench into those plans by upping their hostile takeover bid to $31 a share to buy the entire company outright. While Netflix does have a $2.8 billion breakup fee acting as a shield here, with Paramount being backed by Larry Ellison's billions of dollars, this tug of war is far from over. But this whole ordeal, it's not just about the money anymore. It's gotten incredibly political. Over the weekend, President Donald Trump publicly demanded that Netflix remove former Democratic official Susan Rice from its board of directors, warning the streaming giant to fire her immediately or pay the consequences. This spat exploded after Rice went on a podcast and warned corporations against taking a knee to Trump, stating that there would be an accountability agenda if Democrats were to return to power. Trump fired back on Truth Social immediately, calling Rice a political hack. And this spat, it has massive implications for Netflix, as the streaming giant needs federal antitrust regulators to approve their Warner Bros. Discovery buyout if they are successful. And Trump's threats of consequences puts immense political pressure on a deal that was already facing intense regulatory scrutiny here in Washington, D.C. Now, speaking of regulatory headaches, let's hop across the pond, where the United Kingdom's government just announced that under the Media Act of 2024, they are going to start treating streaming giants like Netflix, Prime Video, and Disney Plus just like traditional television broadcasters, which means that starting soon, any video-on-demand platform with over 500,000 UK users will now fall under the heavy hand of Ofcom, the UK's media regulator. This means that streaming services will now have to adhere to the same strict broadcast codes as the BBC or ITV, which includes rigid rules around impartiality and stringent accessibility quotas. And here's how this development ultimately hurts you, the consumer. Compliance is expensive. The cost of streaming services has been steadily increasing in recent years, and forcing streaming companies to overhaul their entire UK library to meet these broadcast era compliance thresholds means that those administrative costs, they're going to be passed down directly to you on your monthly bills. Furthermore, these requirements threaten the very creative freedom that made these streaming services so popular to begin with. Imagine if a gritty, boundary-pushing show like Fallout now also carries the added risk of a potential £250,000 fine from Ofcom because it had some content that the regulator found to be offensive. You wouldn't be surprised that platforms might decide to heavily censor what content makes it into their UK libraries, or simply choose not to release certain titles in the region altogether, which would be a complete loss for United Kingdom consumers.